the believers and their creator, and moving, and we talked about this kind of relationship that is that is guided, it's tangible, is guided by love, fear, and continuous connection. We have talked about Allah's sign in this universe, strengthening the believer's faith and conviction. Now, humanity in its search for meaning has found finally its ultimate necessity, the ideology and the guidelines provided by the Creator. Without these, humanity remains adrift. The ideology is crafted by humans, as we know, is riddled with imperfections, its deficiencies and injustices, or utopia that's not applicable, whereas the divine guidance fills the void and provides a purposeful path. ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير قل أأنتم أعلم أم الله. So this is the ideology. Believers at that time have been introduced to it. Indeed, we have sent you down to the book. We have sent to you the book, O Muhammad. إنا أنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق. In truth. So what's the next step now? So worship Allah, being sincere to Him in religion. The verse underscores the necessity of implementing the beliefs through genuine worship. Ibadah in our religion is the concept of worship and devotion to Allah Azza wa Jal, the one and only God. It encompasses a wide range of actions, attitudes, and rituals that we undertake as means of demonstrating our submission and reverence to Allah Azza wa Jal. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. There's an action that should happen after all these theories, after all what we have learned, after all Arkan al-Iman. It's time to start implementing Arkan al-Islam so we can build on top of that. So we're going to talk today about the Nusuk, about the Ibadah, about the importance of this, because subhanAllah, the ideology is firm, is perfect. Now it has to be translated into the physical action. Here are some acts of the worships we're going to talk about. SubhanAllah, when we start with the prayer, the salah. The salah, we know it's a direct connection with Allah Azza wa Jal to demonstrate this connection and the importance of it. So why do we have to stand and raise our hands and go with bowing and then go with prostration? What are these physical, why can't we just connect directly with Allah Azza wa Jal, just keep going on our day? Prayer, subhanAllah, you might think it was mandated in Maraj, but prayer was mandated in the early days of Islam. There is a long hadith, I'm going to just say the mention of it, where Rasulullah has seen Jibreel came to him as in a shape of a man and told him to come to kind of a ghamaz leaf. So he came out and took him out of Mecca, and he did wudu and taught him how to do wudu physically. And then he taught him how to do prayers physically. And Sayyidina Muhammad followed him physically in learning how to do the prayers. And the Rasul came back and started teaching. There were not that many Muslims around that time, but at that time it was very important to teach this prayer to Khadija, the woman, to Ali ibn Abi Talib, the kid. So these physical actions have their importance. At that time, prayer they would do ghadatan wal ashi. And we know about the Qiyam al-Layl at that time. You know, Surah Al-Muzammil is one of the first surahs that were revealed with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا نِصْفَهُ أَوْ انْقُصْ مِنْهُ قَلِيلًا أَوْ زِدْ عَلَيْهِ وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. Arise to pray the night except for a little, half of it, or subtract from it a little or add to it. So that was kind of farad at that time, to do the Qiyam al-Layl at least for a year at that time, and recite the Quran with measured recitation. Indeed, we will cast upon you a heavy word. إِنَّ نَاشِئَةَ اللَّيْلِ هِيَ أَشَدُّ وَطْئًا وَأَقْوَمُ قِيلًا. Indeed, the hours of the night are more effective for concurrences of the heart and tongue and more suitable for words. The Prophet ﷺ said at one time to one of the Sahaba, Salni. He did something good. Rasulullah told him, sell me, ask me. So this Sahabi said, أسألك مرافقتك في الجنة. I ask you for your companionship in paradise. So Rasulullah, anything else beside that? Anything else? Like, this is, subhanAllah, the best degree in the whole Jannah, right? Anything else? He said, but this, that's all what I want in this life. مرافقتك في الجنة. Smart guy, he knows this is the highest reward, right? So Rasulullah said, then help me do it for you by prostrating often. أعني على نفسك بكثرة السجود. So it is very, very important. We start with the wudu. Jibreel is teaching him wudu. What is the importance of wudu? Preparing for this prayer. Subhanallah, al-wudu yaghsilu al-khataya. You are washing your sins. Al-wudu, Rasulullah one time came out and he started saying, "Oh my people will come on the day of resurrection with bright faces, hands and feet from the traces of wudu. If any of you can lengthen this brightness, let him do so." One time Rasulullah in one of the ghazawat, he came out and was very concerned about the Muslims. And he would say, وَيْلٌ لِلْأَعْقَابِ مِنَ النَّارِ وَيْلٌ لِلْأَعْقَابِ مِنَ النَّارِ. He saw some people not doing the wudu correctly. Woe to dry heels because of hellfire. No, that's what you're concerned about, Ya Rasulullah. We're about to face battle. There is an army. وَيْلٌ لِلْأَعْقَابِ مِنَ النَّارِ. So this is very important. How are we doing this wudu? How are we doing the salah? This is the importance, translating that belief into the nusuk, into the ibadah. The physical postures such as standing, bowing and prostrating, it's furud of salah. If you can't stand, you cannot just pray while you're sitting. You have to stand in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. It symbolizes the submission and humility. وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ سُجَّدًا وَقِيَامًا. And those who spend part of the night to their Lord prostrating and standing. It demonstrates the obedience and humility to stand in prayer, to do the bowing, and then to do the prostration. Subhanallah, it's during the day, it's during the night. And you know, in Mi'raj at that time, when the prayer was become 5 prayers, but it's from year 1, they were taught how to pray and when. So Rasulullah himself used to stand in prayer حتى تفطرت قدماه, until the skin of his feet would crack. So while words are powerful, embodying intentions through these physical actions reinforces the sincerity of the worship. The bowing and prostrating in prayer physically demonstrate the humility, the devotion, the submission in a tangible manner. There is a wholeness of the worship, holistic nature of the worship, involving both the body and the soul. Engaging in these physical postures show the submission of the entire being, your soul, your body, to Allah Azza wa Jal. And the integration between the physical movement and verbal declarations that deepen the worship experience. SubhanAllah, they are meant to reflect the recognition of Allah's greatness. When you put your face, your head on the ground and you say, Subhanaka Rabbi al-A'la, Subhanaka Rabbi al-A'la, the mighty Lord. Greatness and the believer's role as his servant. This dynamic worship experience would help the believer maintain the focus and mindfulness during the prayer. Listen to this ayah in Surah Sajda. تَتَجَافَى جُنُوبُهُمْ عَنِ الْمَضَاجِعِ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Their sides forsake their bed. Always moving, always moving. It's not enough to just learn the ideology, start defending Islam on Facebook and stuff, and the adhan is going salah after salah, salah after salah, and you're sitting there doing, subhanallah. Rasulullah said, إِنَّكُمْ تَحْتَرِقُونَ حَتَّى إِذَا أَتَتِ الصَّلَاةُ انْطَفَأْتُ. You are burning until you make it to prayer. Rasulullah used to tell Bilal ibn Rabah, أرحنا بها يا Bilal. It's time for prayer. Relieve us with it, Bilal. Rasulullah used to come out. Hey, I heard you praying last night. You were really lowering your voice. You should speak up a little bit. And then he will tell the other guy, you were really shouting. You gotta be a little bit more with the humility. And he would tell the other guy after he finishes prayer, go and pray back. You did not pray. And he would go again. No, go pray back. You gotta give it time. Stop stealing from your prayer. He's teaching the people these physical. It's very important. Subhanallah, it's very hard. When I was preparing for this khutbah, subhanallah, I said, I don't know. Our whole life is built on mistakes. We're sleeping all night. Rasulullah قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. We know Allah Azza wa Jal descends in the last third of the night, asking for us to ask him, subhanallah, so he can forgive our sins and answer our prayers. So subhanallah, it's big. I got mad at my son yesterday. He missed the school. First day, he is overslept. That's how he wrote it. I was mad. How can you oversleep on the first day of school? I know he missed the Fajr prayer. I got a little mad, but not as mad as when I'm teaching him school is more important than Fajr. It is the same for us. Okay, I missed Asr, But if I have a meeting at 5 a.m., I'll be there. I know I'll be there. So We gotta rearrange our priorities. Subhanallah. Arkanul Iman we have talked about. Now it's Arkanul Islam. Prayer. Al-Hajj. Al-Hajj. Isn't Al-Hajj? What is it? It's physical. Go move. Stop those lazy bodies from just sleeping all night or from... Go move. So Muslims, we are required to physically and financially, if we're able to at least once in our life, right? وَإِذْ بَوَّأْنَا لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ مَكَانَ الْبَيْتِ لا تشرك بي شيئا وطهر بيتي للطائفين والعاكفين والركع السجود. We have designated for Abraham the site of the house, saying, do not associate anything with me, and purify my house for those who perform tawaf, and those who stand in prayer, and those who are bowing and prostrating. It's physical, move it. And that's the beginning. After we build this, after Arkan al-Islam, we can go and teach the world how life should be lived. Subhanallah. The Hajj entails various rituals, including the gathering at Arafat. Everybody has to go to Arafat. Everybody has to raise his hands, asking Allah Azza wa Jal. Tawaf around the Kaaba. Brisk walking. If you have done Umrah or Hajj, you go to Safa and Marwa. It's brisk walking between the hills of Safa and Marwa. You would walk, and then there is an area where you go a little bit, jog, and then you slow down and walk again. There is this symbolization in this physical act, this symbolic act of casting stones of the jamarat. You cannot just, okay, I'm the head of the department, or I'm the sheikh, let some of the people do the jamarat for me. No. You have to do it yourself. You have to do the walking yourself. Rasulullah used to do the hadi himself. So it is very, very important. How about the dhikr? الذين يذكرون الله قياما قعودا وعلى جنوبهم. Those who remember Allah while standing, sitting, and laying on their sides. So it's all the time. Rasulullah said, أكثروا ذكر الله حتى يقولوا مجنون. So it's the sport of the tongue. Keep it filled with dhikr Allah Azza wa Jal and the heart. Increase your remembrance of Allah until they say, you are insane. You go to the bathroom, you are mentioning. You come out of the bathroom, you want to eat, you are mentioning Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You go to the market, you start your surgery, you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أكثروا ذكر الله حتى يقولوا مجنون. Let one of you ask his Lord for everything that he needs, even in the lace for his shoe if it breaks. اسألوا الله ولو في شراك نعالكم. Even the small thing. Keep that connection, the physical connection with Allah Azza wa Jal. How about إن لك في النهار سبحا طويلا واذكر اسم ربك وتبتل إليه تبتيلا. You see, we have done a full khutbah on dhikr, on mentioning it. Always have to be a lot. Indeed, you have a day that's really long, سبحا طويلا, prolonged occupation, and remember the name of your Lord and devote yourself to Him with complete devotion. How about reading the Quran? The companions used to finish Quran in 1 week. We usually say, oh, Ramadan is coming, we're going to do 1 chapter a day. We really have no time other than Ramadan. We barely probably finish it in Ramadan. Typically, they would finish it in 1 week. Some of the Sahaba in less than that, probably twice in 1 week. Rasulullah told them, don't do it in 3 days because now you're reading, you're not understanding. But Imam al-Ghazali used to say, if you did it in more than 30 days, you are considered hajir of al-Quran, a stranger from Quran, if you don't finish the Quran every 30 days. So that's how they kept, subhanallah, these listen how Allah Azza wa Jal described them. إذا تتلى عليهم آيات الرحمن خروا سجدا وبكيا. When the verses of the Most Merciful were recited to them, they fell in prostration and weeping. إنما يؤمن بآياتنا إذا ذكروا بها خروا سجدا وسبحوا بحمد ربهم. Only those believe in our verses who, when they are reminded of them, they fall down in prostration and exalt Allah Azza wa Jalla with praise of their Lord. So align these spiritual intentions with tangible actions, reinforcing the unity between the inner and outer self. Through this harmonious balance, these companions kept their hearts vibrant and successfully spread Islam's teaching and belief throughout the world. This harmony requires engagement of all faculties. Eyes to shed the tear. It protects you. لا تمسهم النار. They will not be touched by fire. The eyes that cry from the fearness of Allah Azza wa Jal, min khashyatillah. The mind to connect, the body to be engaged, the sounds to be heard, and the tongue to be moved in prayer. Is noteworthy that, again, completing this Quran, even reading the words, subhanAllah, we get rewarded for it. And remember, giving the charity, The act of صوم, siyam, that's physical, abstaining from food and from drinks, and it reflects a lot. Subhanallah. إن أفضل الصيام صيام داود كان يفطر يوما كان يصوم يوما ويفطر يوما. It's a huge training camp to control desires and physically feel hungers. The fasting, Subhanallah. Even in self-defense or struggle and jihad. What's the ayah? يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا لقيتم فئة فاثبتوا واذكروا الله كثيرا. Oh, who you believed, when you encounter an enemy, stand firm and remember Allah much, so you might be successful. So this is very important. When Salah ad-Din would wander at night between the tents of his army, he would see people sleeping and he would say, all right, here's the loss. That's where it's coming from. And he would see people doing Qiyam al-Layl. He would say, that's where the victory would come from. Sayyidina Umar used to say, when do I sleep? If I sleep during the day, I don't fulfill the rights of the people who are following basically my leadership. If I sleep at night, I don't fulfill the rights of Allah Azza wa Jal, of myself toward Allah Azza wa Jal. So we are taking it really lightly. How much are we praying? How much are we reading Quran? Are we doing Siyam Monday, Thursday? Are we doing the charity? Given the charity is very, very important. So it's physical, right? It's physical. Benefits of these worships and Nusuk. And we're talking about first the intention, the niyyah. The niyyah. Always renew the niyyah. We don't want it to just become routine. Routine is good. We need to do routine, right? We have 5 times. It just basically puts you on the right path. But we always have to do this spiritual fulfillment, right? We have to experience the presence of Allah Azza wa Jalla in our life, and that's through these acts of worship. We have to do the self-improvement that aligns with the mental dimension of worship. The Muslim community coming together. Most of these you've seen, the Siyam is among Jama'ah, the Hajj, the prayer is the Sunnah, the Amr is to be at the mosque. And Rasulullah used to tell the Sahaba, don't make your homes as graves. لا تجعلوا بيوتكم مقابر. You have to pray sometimes at home. But mostly the prayer is done in the masjid. Subhanallah. Source of guidance when you are reading the Quran, when you are doing the prayer. Subhanallah. تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر. It prevents you from doing the fahsha, the bad deeds. Subhanallah, equity and social responsibility with doing zakah. It's balance between the spiritual and material life. It promotes the virtues, and it's help you in seeking forgiveness from salah to salah, mukaffirat lidhunub. So when Allah Azza wa Jal describes the believers in Quran, okay, you know, they are صائمين, مسبحين, مستغفرين بالأسحار. They're always doing these acts. They are asking for forgiveness. They are doing siyam. Munfiqeen. When he described the munafiqeen, إن المنافقين يخادعون الله. They are liars. They are lazy. وإذا قاموا إلى الصلاة قاموا كسالى. Remember, Rasulullah used to say, أرحنا يا بلال. If you have this hypocrisy, oh my God, it's time for salah. You gotta be very careful. يراؤون الناس. They just do it because people are seeing them. ولا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا. Remember, ذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات. Those are the believers. ذاكرين الله كثيرا. Too many, too much, all the time. But these guys, لا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا. So Allah Azza wa Jal says in Hadith Qudsi, إني والجن والإنس في نبأ عظيم أخلق ويعبد غيري وأرزق ويشكر غيري. God says in a Hadith Qudsi, I create and other than me gets worshipped. I provide for you and somebody else gets the gratitude. Let's look at our lives. Let's look at what's important. Let's look at what are we teaching our kids. How much of the night are we doing qiyam? Is our night correct? Do we have really, is the prayer part, like, do we live our life and then on the side there is a little bit of prayer? Or no, it's the other way around. We should be living with the Quran, with the dhikr, with the prayer, and then we can do our life on the side. You know, they used to wake up in the night, they used to sleep during noon. So this whole system is not the perfect system of how we should have our life. If we can change our schedules, if we can at least, I don't know, we have to look back on it and we have to find some solutions. Subhanallah, النفس تبكي على الدنيا وقد علمت إن السلامة فيها ترك ما فيها.